Sir, my concern is not whether God is on our side. My greatest concern is to be on God's side, for God is always right. You cannot escape the responsibility of tomorrow by evading it today. You can fool all the people some of the time and some of the people all the time, but you cannot fool all the people all the time. How many legs does a dog have if you call his tail a leg? For saying that a tail is a leg doesn't make it a leg. No man has a good enough memory to be a successful liar. Give me 6 hours to chop down a tree, and I will spend the first 4 sharpening the axe. Most folks are as happy as they make up their minds to be. The philosophy of the schoolroom in one generation will be the philosophy of government in the next. The ballot is stronger than the bullet. I don't like that man. I must get to know him better. Government of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish from the earth. Character is like a tree and reputation like a shadow. The shadow is what we think of it. The tree is the real thing. I do the very best I know how, the very best I can, and I mean to keep on doing so until the end. Be sure you put your feet in the right place, then stand firm. Always bear in mind that your own resolution to succeed is more important than any other. When I do good, I feel good. When I do bad, I feel bad, and that's my religion. We the people are the rightful masters of both Congress and the courts, not to overthrow the Constitution, but to overthrow the men who pervert the Constitution. It has been my experience that folks who have no vices have very few virtues. I am a firm believer in the people. If given the truth, they can be depended upon to meet any national crisis. The great point is to bring them the real facts. Don't worry when you are not recognized, but strive to be worthy of recognition. My great concern is not whether you have failed, but whether you are content with your failure. I am not bound to win, but I am bound to be true. I am not bound to succeed, but I am bound to live by the light that I have. I must stand with anybody that stands right, and stand with him while he is right, and part with him when he goes wrong. The best way to get a bad law repealed is to enforce it strictly. Those who deny freedom to others deserve it not for themselves, and under the rule of a just God cannot long retain it. As I would not be a slave, so I would not be a master. This expresses my idea of democracy. I like to see a man proud of the place in which he lives. I like to see a man live so that his place will be proud of him. My dream is of a place and a time where America will once again be seen as the last best hope of earth. I have always found that mercy bears richer fruits than strict justice. This country, with its institutions, belongs to the people who inhabit it. Whenever they shall grow weary of the existing government, they can exercise their constitutional right of amending it or exercise their revolutionary right to overthrow it. Discourage litigation. Persuade your neighbors to compromise whenever you can. As a peacemaker, the lawyer has superior opportunity of being a good man. There will still be business enough. Do I not destroy my enemies when I make them my friends? No man is good enough to govern another man without the other's consent. Important principles may and must be inflexible. Marriage is neither heaven nor hell. It is simply purgatory. I remember my mother's prayers, and they have always followed me. They have clung to me all my life. I do not think much of a man who is not wiser today than he was yesterday. The shepherd drives the wolf from the sheep's throat, for which the sheep thanks the shepherd as his liberator, while the wolf denounces him for the same act as the destroyer of liberty. Plainly, the sheep and the wolf are not agreed upon a definition of liberty. You have to do your own growing, no matter how tall your grandfather was. If this is coffee, please bring me some tea. But if this is tea, please bring me some coffee. That some achieve great success is proof to all that others can achieve it as well. Labor is prior to and independent of capital. Capital is only the fruit of labor and could never have existed if labor had not first existed. Labor is the superior of capital and deserves much the higher consideration. A woman is the only thing I am afraid of that I know will not hurt me. The probability that we may fail in the struggle ought not to deter us from the support of a cause we believe to be just. No matter how much cats fight, there always seem to be plenty of kittens. The things I want to know are in books. My best friend is the man who will get me a book I ain't read. A friend is one who has the same enemies as you have, with malice toward none, with charity for all, with firmness in the right, as God gives us to see the right. Let us strive on to finish the work we are in, to bind up the nation's wounds. Let's have faith that right makes might, and in that faith led us to the end, dare to do our duty as we understand it. I want it said of me by those who knew me best, that I always plucked a thistle and planted a flower where I thought a flower would grow. Avoid popularity if you would have peace. We should be too big to take offense, and too noble to give it. Public sentiment is everything. With public sentiment, nothing can fail. Without it, nothing can succeed. If we could first know where we are and whither we are tending, we could then better judge what to do and how to do it. Towering genius disdains a beaten path. It seeks regions hitherto unexplored. I care not much for a man's religion, whose dog and cat are not the better for it. If there is anything that a man can do, well, I say let him do it. Give him a chance. If I were to face, would I be wearing this one? The dogmas of the quiet past are inadequate to the stormy present. The occasion is piled high with difficulty, and we must rise with the occasion. As our case is new, so we must think anew and act anew. If once you forfeit the confidence of your fellow citizens, you can never regain their respect and esteem. Any people anywhere, being inclined and having the power, have the right to rise up and shake off the existing government and form a new one that suits them better. This is a most valuable, a most sacred right, a right which we hope and believe is to liberate the world. Don't interfere with anything in the Constitution. That must be maintained, for it is the only safeguard of our liberties. Cold is good in its place, but loving, brave, patriotic men are better than cold. Let not him who's houseless pull down the house of another, but let him work diligently and build one for himself, thus by example assuring that his own shall be safe from violence when built. Tact is the ability to describe others as they see themselves. What kills a skunk is the publicity it gives itself. A man watches his pear tree day after day, impatient for the ripening of the fruit. Let him attempt to force the process, and he may spoil both fruit and tree. But let him patiently wait, and the ripe pear at length falls into his lap. Stand with anybody that stands right. Stand with him while he is right, and part with him when he goes wrong. There is no grievance that is a fit object of redress by mob law. When you have got an elephant by the hind legs and he is trying to run away, it's best to let him run. Surely God would not have created such a being as man with an ability to grasp the infinite, to exist only for a day, No, no, man was made for immortality. I know that the Lord is always on the side of the right, but it is my constant anxiety and prayer that I and this nation may be on the Lord's side. With public sentiment, nothing can fail. Without it, nothing can succeed. With the fearful strain that is on me, night and day, if I did not laugh, I should die. The highest art is always the most religious, and the greatest artist is always a devout person. My paramount object in this struggle is to save the Union, and is not either to save or to destroy slavery. If I could save the Union without freeing any slave, I would do it, and if I could save it by freeing some and leaving others alone, I would also do that. Whenever I hear anyone arguing for slavery, I feel a strong impulse to see it tried on him personally. I never had a policy, I have just tried to do my very best each and every day. These capitalists generally act harmoniously and in concert to fleece the people, and now that they have got into a quarrel with themselves, we are called upon to appropriate the people's money to settle the quarrel. Thanks for watching.